Hey! Now that I have your attention, welcome to Red. Listen, you ever met some ungrateful people? I mean, ungrateful. I mean, thankless. I mean, it's almost as if they feel that they deserve whatever you did for them. They just don't have any kind of gratitude whatsoever. People are amazing, eh? But listen, I want to take some time today to say thanks, to show some gratitude. Today we're talking about having an attitude of gratitude. Now, it's one thing to just say thanks occasionally. You know, somebody did something for you and they appreciate it, so yeah, you tell them thanks. But it's a different thing to live in that space of always being thankful. That's something different, eh? We're talking about having an attitude, not just simply being thankful or just having gratitude in a scenario, but having an attitude. That means from the time you wake up in the morning, you have this sense, this spirit, this atmosphere of thankfulness on you, that you're just glad to be alive, you're glad to meet people. You know, even if things don't totally work out your way, you're just still glad to be here, and you're glad to be a survivor, and you're just grateful. You know what I'm talking about? And so we want to talk a little bit about that today. But here's where I want to start. A couple days ago, we launched the channel, Red. And boy, the feedback has been phenomenal. So first thing, I want to say thanks to everybody who viewed our first episode where we dealt with fear. And we looked at two ways you can do it. Either we could forget everything and run, or we can face everything and rise. But this time I want to say thanks. Firstly, thanks to everybody who took time to visit the channel, who subscribed, who commented. Oh my God. So I really want to say thanks to you for that. Love you bad. Looking forward to having a nice thing going down the road as we do more stuff on the Red. As I said, sometimes the start is the hardest thing, but when you get that kind of encouragement to start, oh gosh, it makes the journey so much nicer. And I'm just pumped. And ready to go. I ain't running away, I'm running hard. We have a saying in the business that I'm in. Well, I guess people say it all over, but you know, my kind of business is very common. We say go hard or go home. I'm a home, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I have no intention of going home, so I'm going hard. So this episode 2, we're talking about having an attitude of gratitude. Before I get into any other category, must say big thanks to my God Almighty for giving me the strength every day to wake up, for blessing me with good health, good life, beautiful wife, lovely children. One is deceased, one is still surviving and doing some amazing things, and you will see them on the channel at some point. But I want to thank God for keeping me alive, for giving me help creating these spaces for me to get into, to learn what I have learned, and to know what I know, to now be able to do what I can do. It's not about me. I didn't make myself to start with. So I know that whole God thing is a tricky issue with some people. Some believe, some don't believe, and it don't matter. That's you. You're entitled to your thing. I entitled to mine. So I am saying thanks to God for giving me the impetus to be able to do this and other things, of course, on a day-to-day basis, to be able to provide for my family. And at times when it seems like we are at the end of the road and nothing coming through, you know, people calling you because bills to pay. And Eric, don't forget, Mr. Alvarez, hello, good day, I'm calling from so, don't forget your thing overdue, blah, blah, blah. Lord, where, and boom, God makes it happen every time. So I cannot go on without saying thanks to my God and Father for making this thing happen, right? Boom. Nextly, I want to thank my parents. And these are my parents. Whenever I have a chance to talk about my parents, I always talk about the values that they've instilled in us. It's a whole heap of way. It's a whole heap of we. So I want to say thanks to mommy and daddy for the kind of values they instilled in us from young growing up. I hear a parrot in the back just making noise in my ears there. I hope it doesn't come true and disturb the thing. But mommy and daddy put some good principles in our beings that has served us well over the years. So mommy and daddy, thanks. The next most important people in my life, the list may differ from person to person. This is just my list. But after God, after my parents, mommy and daddy, must say big thanks to my wife, Peaches, and my son, EJ, Joella and Eric. He's Eric Jr. They are my biggest critics and they are my biggest supporters, because even in terms of designing this, before I was finished with it, I called them and I say, I need your opinion on this. What, let's look at this. Try different backgrounds, try different things. What do you think? How does it look? How is it? I need their input. It's important, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are going to benefit from this one way or the other. If it goes bad, they are the ones people go, I see your father, child. What going on here? Your father, So if it's good, your father. If it's bad, your father or your husband, as the case may be. Right? So it's important that they have some kind of input. At the end of the day, I have to do what I have to do, but I don't operate in isolation. As a matter of fact, when my wife became pregnant with our first child, Jamie, who is now deceased, gem of a young lady. When my wife became pregnant, immediately my life changed, and it was no longer about me. It was now all about my family. My fun now is when I do something that I know my family can benefit from. I do it well, I get pleasure from that. I don't have time, and again, not knocking it, this is just me, but I cut out all the lime and go and kick ball with the boys and all that. I finished that long time because it was all about my family. Now, I'm not saying that you need to cut out what you need to figure out. You need to figure out your own space and what is important at this point in time, especially if you have family. I always had problems when I hear people bringing up men in court for maintenance of your child, of their child. That's your child. However it comes, that's yours. You play fast and organize your business. So I can understand that. When I probably kind of different. But when I found out that my wife was having a baby, oh Lord, Jesus, guys. That was it. That was joy. When I saw my daughter for the first time, oh gosh, hey, that was sweet. And well, look at some of the pictures and you know what I'm talking about. Jamie was just, that was my doodle. That was my real doodle. And then I want to say thanks to my family. The list too long. Trust me, the list too long to start calling names. My family is huge. But I want to say thanks to the Alvarez and Ben clans, who are my immediate. My mom's name is Harriet Alvarez. My dad's name is Mr. Eric Ted Ben. Formerly Mr. Von Small from St. Lucia. From St. Lucia, came here many moons ago. Long story short, and another time we'll talk about our whole family thing. But there's a whole heap of we in the Alvarez Ben clan, the direct lineage, and then we have some extensions because actually our main roots is in Moruga. Big up Alvarez Moruga. Boom, 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 boom. On my father's side, the Ben side settled in Sangre Grande. So we have some more family of Grande side, the Bens and the Les Forest. Family has been an important part in my life over the years. When my daughter passed away, I saw so much family rally. I didn't even know we had so much family in Trinidad. But our family, my family is significantly huge, but my family is ultra important in my life. My brothers, my sisters, my cousins, nephews, nieces, is so much of them. The last category of people I want to say thanks to, and last doesn't mean you're least, my real, genuine friends and acquaintances. And I mean genuine. Now, again, I wouldn't, boy, afraid to call names, and everybody's like will have this. There are some people that are in, if you want to call it your closest inner circle. I mean, the people that you know right there when push come to shove. If nobody else hire back, you know they in your corner. You know, you have a few like that. And then you have your general friends who you're just friends. All the lime, all the talk, all the drink, all the eat, whatever. All they might visit each other, watch a movie, you know, the chat online, all that kind of stuff. And then you have people who occasionally you meet and you chat, you know, do business or whatever. But I want to say thanks to all of you guys, because one way or the other, you would have impacted something in my life that has brought me to where I am. Strange as it may seem. If you all follow my comments on Facebook in particular, because I posted the first video on Facebook as well, you would see several times when people congratulated me, I would say, you had a part to play in this. So I'm not here just because I went TDT and spent about 9 months training and that's it, and I'm here now doing this. No. Along the way, several persons would have impacted me on different levels that in one way or the other had something to do with where I am now and what I'm doing now. Amongst everybody, there's one particular individual, boy. And every time I start to talk about him, if you're probably detecting it in my voice, internally I start to well up. And you know, the water has come. But there's a gentleman deceased by the name of Earl Phillip. Listen, guys, I would not be doing this today if it wasn't for Earl Phillip. Earl Phillip literally mentored me where this whole technical arena is concerned. Started off doing live song with him, and then he had a studio. He had a little studio in Tunapuna. Started doing work in the studio, so I started to produce for people and you know, was a musician on call and all that kind of stuff. Boy, but when we go out and we go to events, Earl will drop some nuggets, boy. It's to see how we used to operate. The fella was just amazing. And then, you know, we'll have a lot of long discussions, be out late at night. Sometimes we spend whole night up, sun come up and meet us in studio, and Earl and I, we just talking and going through stuff and doing things and producing, and you know, and boy, the man was amazing. I feel I might have to do a whole episode on just Earl Phillip. Trust me, it will be worth it. Earl Phillip, the man was a comedian, he was a musician, he was a singer, he was a motivator, he was an inventor. I will tell you a little thing. You know the fire pan, the electronic pan that we have going around the place? I will just leave this here for now. But Earl Phillip was one of the key people behind that. Dispute it if you want, debate me if you want, no problem. I was there in Earl's studio in the early days of that, so I could talk. But at the end of the day, when Earl say he have your back, Earl have your back. Earl Phillip was one of the most genuine people I have ever met in my entire life. And I say that without apology. Not taking away anything from what anybody else may have done for me, with me, to me, in a positive sense. And I could call, again, I could call real names. But I had to single out this guy, Earl Phillip. Sunlight Studios, which is my company, will not be alive today if it wasn't for Earl Phillip. Me doing all this fancy thing with video and camera and editing and lighting and all because of Earl Phillip. Yeah, boy, I'm gonna stop before I started crying. Because he just do that to me. Even up to now, he died a few years ago, but up to now, boy. Up to now, he just make me feel like cry when I think of the things we went through. One of the things I appreciate with Earl is that well, in Trinidad we call it not putting water in your mouth. I don't know how you say it in other islands, of the Caribbean, Barbados, Jamaica, etc. But in Trinidad we say he don't put water in his mouth. To tell you, he tell you straight, Eric, you're doing crap. Stop it. And as soon as he say that, is it hot dog? Hey, it have a doubles man on the road. You got it to follow Earl will buff you now. I mean hard buff. And as soon as he done, he brings something for you to eat or drink. Or he starts some other conversation that has nothing to do with what he just buff you for. Because he just forget that. That's that. We deal with that. That had nothing to do with you and me as individuals. And I appreciated that with Earl. So the idea behind the attitude is, as I said, every time you get up in the morning, you just thankful. You just grateful. What the attitude of gratitude will do for you is let me show you one example. Somebody does something to rub you the wrong way. You just smile and shake your head. And you just laugh it off and go, say, thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Something like that. I just walk. You don't beat up. You don't fuss, you don't stress, you don't argue. Everybody will have their own opinion about things. Everybody's at their own levels in terms of how they treat with things and how they process things. We don't all do it the same way. Our values are different. Appreciate when people do something for you. And don't do it with no set of false pride and thing. There are some people, they do something for you. You're telling them thanks. But they're so full of themselves, and they so feel, what else you expect is me, and so they want to give you a whole long explanation as to why they did what they did for you and why you should be thankful to them. Nah, forget that. Somebody tell you thanks, you're welcome. No problem. Anytime. I'm here for you. I have your back. I'm your boy. Just be gracious with it. Just be gracious with it. And that is the flip side of the attitude of gratitude. If you like what you hear, it brings some kind of value to you, feel free to drop some comments, subscribe. Please subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so you'll know when we post. But please subscribe. You can also follow us. My handles posted. My handles, IG, Twitter. I now start this thing now, so follow, subscribe as the case may be. Let's have some fun going along this journey. At the end of the day, it's all about helping to improve people, helping to bring some kind of value, helping to inspire, helping to motivate, and helping to take people from one level to the next. You inspire me as well. As I said, all the different stuff people post, they motivate me. You teach me, you have taught me, and we help each other to grow from level to level to level. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another episode of Red.